The ice cream you buy at your local grocery store might look a little different in a few years. Dozens of American ice cream makers have pledged to phase out artificial food dyes from their products by 2028. The announcement was made this week by the International Dairy Foods Association and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The brands committing to the removal account for more than 90% of ice cream brands sold in the U.S. Other food manufacturers like General Mills, Kraft Heinz, and Nestle have also said they plan to phase out artificial food dyes. And CBS News health reporter Alex Tin joins us now. Alex, I'm a big fan of ice cream, so I'm excited to talk about this. Can you tell us more about how ice cream production will change over the next few years, and will it be different for us as consumers?
Yeah, so what we heard from ice cream industry executives at this announcement earlier this week with Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was that they're going to stop using these artificial dyes to create those colors and swap them out for natural, so-called natural color alternatives. What that means for consumers is, number one, that those colors that they're going to see on store shelves are probably not going to look quite as vibrant as they used to. Those reds, those greens, those blues are going to look a little duller. But on the other end of it, and this is what we've heard from some of the market industry analysts, is that the prices of ice cream might go up a little bit. And a big reason why is because natural colors, the reason that a lot of companies don't use them isn't just that they aren't as vibrant, it's also that they tend to be more expensive and harder to get.
So you talked about the vibrancy of the color. What's behind the International Dairy Food Association's decision to remove those dyes?
Yeah, you know, what we've heard both from industry executives as well as from people outside is that the main reason that the companies, including the ice cream manufacturers, are doing this is not just because of public pressure that's been brought on by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his allies, but actually movement within multiple state legislatures that have passed actual bans, not just called for the removal of these dyes, but actual bans of these dyes going into products, everything from school lunches to store shelves. What that means is that a lot of companies are now under the gun to either change their formulas or essentially stop selling their products in a lot of states around the country.
Now, Alex, you bring up Secretary Kennedy. Of course, this comes on the heels of people like him claiming that synthetic food poisoning and I should say synthetic food coloring is bad for children's health. Is there any research backing that up?
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality is, and you hear this a lot from the outside nonprofits that have been studying this for a long time, there are a handful, a subset of children that there is evidence that suggests that consuming these so-called synthetic food dyes might cause some behavioral issues. But it's important to emphasize that the research does not suggest that it's all children that would get these negative effects. The other end of the argument that you often hear from Kennedy and his allies is, well, if you stop using synthetic dyes, these, so-called junk foods are going to look less appealing to kids and kids might consume a little less of it. But of course, the criticism you often hear from those outside groups who often are campaigning for healthier foods is that a bigger way to make food healthier isn't just to, remove synthetic food dyes. The real changes that they want from Kennedy and his administration is to actually do things to crack down on the real things that are those drivers of chronic disease: sugar, fats, etc.
Yeah, still nothing beats an ice cream cone on a hot summer day. Alex Tin, thank you very much.
Thank you.